Who's Jack Harlow? Who's Jack Harlow?
I have no idea.
There's a guy over here, right here. He's in that white shirt behind you.
Yeah, who is he?
I don't know. Go ask him.
What's up, everybody? It's the Charlie Atherton Show, episode 07502. I'm not naming the episodes anymore. You know, I was looking at myself like, Charlie, you're not creative enough to name every episode. I follow a lot of podcasts. I love all the AAA podcasts out there. The sports ones, majority all the comedian ones. You know, I'd give you a couple of the names I like, but I don't want you to hate me off of my taste here. I'm gonna try and not sneeze this whole episode. With the dreary depths of the winter leaving us comes the good weather, and the good weather makes you fucking deal with her bullshit before you can enjoy the sunshine. So, hopefully my nose gets with the fucking program and learns how to act here. Because Papa's got a radio show to do. You know, when's the last time you giggled at the episode of a podcast episode name? Unless there's an exquisite inside joke, you're kind of just wasting your breath. Plus, I do a lot of topical material. I cover a lot of sports, so I think the dates would help you guys out. So, episode 7, 502, we're in the month of May. Ladies are about to start looking beautiful outside. That, May makes me think of Mother's Day, and Mother O'Malley, you look good in that dress. Come on now. Had a great weekend. I think I hit every bar in mid-Michigan. You probably saw me out there. Look for the giant polar bear sitting at the end of the bar, ordering Long Island after Long Island after Long Island after Long Island. Come on now. I hit the Long Islands as much as Giannis drives to the basket. We'll get in on that a little bit later here. But, if we're coming off a weekend, we got a Monday show. What are we going to talk about? Last week's UFC, the shit sandwich continues to roll downhill, get bigger and bigger, picking up some dandelions along the way. The dandelions being, shit card, shit, draw, but good fighters went out there and fought this weekend. I'm not going to do a card recap, and I'm going to have to start covering some of these shitty ones. I keep waiting, seeing if anything's worth covering. I'll talk about a couple fights here. We'll talk about the main one. Excuse me. Mr. Chito Vera battering Rob Font. That did not go how I thought it was going to go. And, just got reminded again. Don't think about that MMA math. Because it don't work. Everybody's MMA math was thinking of, guess who? Sean O'Malley. Chito Vera, Sean O'Malley. And that's a completely different fight than the Rob Font fight. You know what I mean? He's got completely different weapons and spacing and pacing to worry about with Sean O'Malley versus Rob Font. So, 5 rounds is tough. Tough with Rob Font, too. I don't think O'Malley could last, the 90 seconds into the second round if he wasn't up. But Rob Font taking him on the chin. I haven't seen him get beat up that bad. Usually, I feel like his volume keeps people away, but he hasn't necessarily fought somebody that is ready to die. And I don't know what happened to Chito, if they tied his balls together like they're trying to castrate a horse or something and slapped him on the ass and sent him out there. But he beat that guy like he owed him money. Those were the easily the biggest names on the card. I commend you for staying up that late and watching. It wasn't too late. I think it was a 7 p.m. prelim start, 10 p.m. Or 9 p.m. Main card start. Main card wasn't bad at all. And one thing I like, and I could be in the minority here, but when it's not the pay-per-views, I like when the cheapy fights go long. I'm sitting here and, I'm faded 99% of the day. That's my own problem, but it's how I choose to live my life. I'm sitting there, I'm staring at the screen, and I see, I'm like, okay, fuck, we got to be getting close. Main fight's got to be right after this. Who the hell was fighting first? I might have to pull up the card here just to get my point across here. And the site I use is so unforgiving with the news stuff. Mr. Mearschan or whatever his name is. He got knocked out by Kamzat. But we're about 90 seconds left in the third round, and I'm like, man, I better get my dinner and my smoke planned around this, because that main fight's coming up after this. And it was the first fight in the main card. A couple went long before, and there wasn't as many finishes. But when they go deep into the 3 rounds and or late into the second round for like submissions or stoppages, you're getting your money's worth off the free shit. It's like when you hit the over and then there's overtime in the NFL or the NBA. You're just sitting there watching free sports. And if you hit your bet, it's even better. But when you get extra, it's at the price of the players, and I'm sure those guys would love to go in there, throw one punch, and go home. But when they're free, I like when it goes long, consume my Saturday, make me not think about this dreary-ass life, that I wake up, I go, ah! And then I drag my ass to work, I come home, I talk to 15 people, and then I watch the fights on the weekend, and I try not to ask too many questions, or else that turns into something else. God, my wife probably hates me. So, Cheeto beat the fuck out of Rob Font. Who do we get for Cheeto next? Wouldn't be surprised if they threw somebody big in there again. God, if they make O'Malley fight Cheeto again, it's gonna, they got that in their back pocket now. That's one of the most beautiful things about the UFC, how they create, Dana's a smart guy. There's a lot of smart, fast money Vegas guys. I don't know if they're all from Vegas. I don't know where all they're from. I can't think of the brothers' names that own the UFC, but correct me if I'm wrong. At least from my perspective, the UFC is one of the only sports where you can create value in match. In the NBA, NFL, they kind of gotta, schedule matchups. This specific Sunday, the X holiday is what I'm, completely off on my calendar here, but X holiday is gonna have this many eyes on this team. You know what I mean? Wild card weekend is gonna be then, so you guys watch. And it's most likely gonna be the Patriots and the Eagles, so you guys fucking watch or whatever, something like that. There's a lot of moving parts in the UFC. You can have good matchups, and these guys can, throw hands, and you'll want to see them fight again. It'd be cool to see Gilbert and Kamzat fight again. In this throwaway fight where O'Malley breaks his leg like an old horse, sitting out there limp-footed like someone backed over it. That fight that we thought we'd never think of ever again now has value to it. Now makes people go, because people aren't going to give up on MMA math. If people gave up on MMA math, a lot of people wouldn't enjoy the talk and the media and the prediction and the guessing of mixed martial arts. And it's not a practice that's entirely untrue. I'm sure, you can use it with matchups and styles and all that, but, this guy beat this guy, therefore he beats this guy. It doesn't always work. So I'd be curious to see if that you're not going to see that fight anytime soon. We're looking at 3 years out, 2 years out. Cheeto's getting up there in age a little bit. I'm sure he's not the youngest guy out there, but that is, that just, light bulbed in my head that there's no other sport where you can create a valuable matchup. Like, the only way that would happen in the NBA or, hockey or the NFL is, let's say there's a really good matchup, the Bucks play the Grizzlies or something in the middle of the season. John Morant gets into it with some, role player. Dude gets in his face, 2-hand shoves his shoulders. They eject him, and they're like, oh man, now these guys are playing each other in the playoffs. Gonna have to tune in and see how scrappy they get. That only happened. That's, it's a lot more marketable in the UFC is what I'm trying to grab at here. That those are just two fighters where instead of talking about two teams in one instance for the playoffs, now you got 2 fighters that you can market alone on their performance that happened, X amount of years ago or X amount of days ago. It's something interesting to look at, and it's another unique part of the business of the UFC and why it's, so lucrative there. That there's ways that the UFC makes money that would probably make our heads spin, and it's not just cheaping out on people. I'm sure that's why these people get so frustrated. They're like, dude, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of this, Anybody who's got money, they know how it's made, and they don't want to get rid of it. So, tough fucking luck. Romanov coming in with the biggest Vegas discrepancy money line ever. I think he was minus 2,000. I could be wrong. Could be a little bit higher. Maybe minus 2,200, I believe, that broke the record. Completely mauled Chase Sherman. What else did we think? If anything else besides that happened in this fight, I don't know what you would have expected. That was just, they truly fed him to the Lions, or Mr. Sherman to the Lions there. Middle of the mall, not size-wise, but skill-wise and appearance-wise, he reminds me of Ben Rothwell a little bit. Value and skill-wise, where you see him fight every fucking free Vegas card. And he'll beat the competition, but you give him a main guy. If you ever see a fat guy with abs, which I didn't even have abs when I came out of my mama's ass crack. But if you ever see a fat guy with abs, turn and run the other way. Those are the strongest people on earth. Romanov is just naturally strong. He could fuck up majority of people in the building. If I was his coach and I was getting slammed every time, it's like, somebody please beat this guy so I don't get slammed on the fucking turf, on the ring like this guy does every time. Every time Romanov wins, he slams one of his coaches. I'd have that in my contract. No more body slams. My head hurts. So that, in the recent memory, that's one of the more not disrespectful. There's a couple good fights, but they didn't even try with these last 3 weekends on fights. You know what I mean? Not on fights, on draws. I like when you're gonna say, Charlie, there's some of those fight nights turn out to be the best cards. That's because that's a fucking talking point, my guy. You like saying that. You like being at the party and somebody going, oh, who the fuck's fighting tonight? And you get to go, hey, actually, once in a while, these cards do good. Well, now they're starting to stink. And Dana's words are catching back up with him. He had a lot of shit to talk about the boxing undercards, and now his undercards look like a fucking game of Clue, bro. Who are these people? There was a guy from Israel, if you guys remember who his name is, he was one of the first couple fights, I believe, but that is one of the strangest 155-pounders I've ever seen in my life. He's asymmetrical, and he's huge. He doesn't look like he weighs 155. I know they weigh a little bit more on their fight day, but man, does that guy either cut or he really is down to the percentage of body fat to get into the ring. So he didn't wow me very much. I think he was one of the Contender Series guys. He's one of the only Israeli fighters that the UFC has ever had. So, his name escapes me. You guys will have to help me out with that. Let's move on to some basketball here. I wanted to start without basketball because if I do, I can talk into the sunset, and I'm not good enough for this to be an NBA show. So I sandwiched it a little bit in the middle. We'll see, how we do here. So the basketball was pretty tame, and we're slowing down here. It's like that, it's like that second weekend of March Madness where you're like, okay, the buzz is wore off. These games, I got to wait a little bit longer for these games. I got to actually rake some leaves around the house and then sit in front of the TV. You can't just roll out of bed, crack a yee and sit down and enjoy your day. So playoff buzz slowed down a little bit, but the entertainment, the talent, and the skill level has not yet. I'm just floored by how good these guys are playing. And I've just been giddy to talk to any old head that wants to talk with me about NBA basketball. It's good to have another sport besides college football, NFL, and that's one of the appeals of being a fight fan is it's every goddamn weekend. You guys that are just strictly college football and NFL, I get why you shut down the town store during the fall because you don't live for anything else. You just go and sit in your cabin and take a couple days off from your wife and for fun. That's what you do for fun. Best part of your day is finding the old school Mountain Dew that's made with real sugar. Get a fucking hobby, bro. Talking to a microphone. We had the Warriors and the Grizzlies. This motherfucking series is going to be so good. It's got the stars. It's got the old familiar game. The Warriors are coming in looking like the villains in Space Jam this time. The first couple times they're in the finals, everybody, they were new basketball. Wait till you see the documentaries on these guys, except it's cool to make docs on, all these old people and all these stars, but these guys aren't, that's one thing why The Last Dance was so nostalgic and so riveting and polarizing is you got to see just how fucking big these guys, excuse my language today, guys. I'm sorry if you had to turn me down in the shop when you brought your kid to work today. You got to see how big these NBA stars used to be. Dennis Rodman has that quote where he goes, there's pro athletes, there's gods, and then there's pro athletes. I fucked it up, but he was saying, there's gods and then there's pro athletes. They were gods back then. Everybody's got a blue check mark now. Guys that weigh less than my left leg are famous now. So, fame has kind of dwindled a little bit. Money and being essentially a miser king like Elon Musk or Bezos is kind of the new thing that's in. They're wringing the Kardashians dry. I don't want to hear those fucking names for the rest of my life. They hold no cultural relevance to me. And if the Kardashians do hold cultural relevance to you, fucking turn Jersey Shore off and scroll on TikTok some more and find some new trends. You're living in the, how they used to say you live in the fucking 80s, you still like all the hair bands and all that. That's going to be all that. If you still like reality TV, if you're still tanning on the fucking weekends, and if you're still going to Planet Fitness and just stretching and not, lifting weights, get with the fucking program, okay? That we're going to, we're at war with Ukraine right now, or Russia, okay? All right? Maybe I need to get a couple of these bars better for them to stick. Otherwise, people are just making fun of me. Charlie, get your fucking lines right. And stay on script, by the way, too. Jordan Poole, Mr. Michigan man. I love talking about this guy. I love talking about an ex-Wolverine. Practically a triple-double in this game. You can tell that they can duplicate a lot of the sets that they like to run with Draymond, that they've ran with Draymond in the past. They can stick Jordan there now, who's even more dynamic than Draymond, or even run that, in two different sets. So Jordan's passing is probably something that he was good at, and he thought he would never have to use, and he got in a system, and he was the perfect fucking fit for it. I mean, just so happy for this kid. Probably completely underutilized at Michigan. I love seeing him shine. I love those super fast-minded kids, those kids that can't sit still, because there's something to do for these kids that can't sit still. They can't sit still because you're boring them to death. Let them fucking go, and they could, do a lot of things faster than you and more magical than you can. I like that he makes his shots. I like that he's not afraid to pull it. It's still some cheese that the fucking Splash Brothers roll their eyes and get mad at him when he does the wrong things, because they invented reckless basketball, okay? And they're getting mad at this kid for doing the same shit that they did. That's the most older brother shit I've doesn't. Chuck, it's gonna help him. It's gonna make him a man. Tell him that they're 3 and Clay hasn't played. He's rusty as all get out. Missed 2 free throws at the end of the game. He's lucky he got bailed out. Clay's got a bad fucking attitude. He's still automatic. I'd still take him in the corner over Steph anytime. But he's got to fix his attitude, and he'd be all-star. Speaking of attitude, one of my favorite things to notice in this game was, the Grizzlies were starting to inch back. You're like, oh man, they're going to get one at home, and it's going to make this an actual series. I got a feeling that the Warriors are going to, could easily steal another one at home and flip this bitch on its head. I know the Grizzlies have played down, and I know, Ja Morant is tenacious, and he's beyond a star in the making. I don't even want to hear that he's a bright spot. He is a star, and he's slowly gravitating and shining more than a lot of guys in the league. But Steph was able to turn on his, he's got some gray hairs around the line, around the hairline, just like a lot of us do, and he was able to use those gray hairs this weekend. He didn't look like old, jumpy, coming off the screen. I'm gonna stop here and shoot, and usually I make this shot, but sometimes it doesn't, and I'll live with it. He played even better than that. He had to play more than perfect to make up for the mistakes that his team was making, and he did. He passed his ass off. He found Looney underneath the basket. He was finding people in the corners, making that extra pass, and thinking, doing what Jordan is doing that is making people, so surprised how he's hanging so well with these stars, is thinking faster than other players. Basketball players are very savvy. They're one of the smarter, not smarter, but you got to be sharp and you got to be quick in basketball. I understand you can give me all these arguments for all these other sports, but basketball, it's sloppy, and it takes a lot of thinking ahead to make that look so easy. So he was able to dial in, make some good passes, make up for Klay's, who the fuck misses 2 free throws and your name's Klay Thompson? You know what I mean? Go rub your bulldog on the head for some good luck after that one. I don't even give 2 flying you-know-whats about Draymond getting ejected. I've been seeing that, since he was in the league. He's from Saginaw. Pardon me, but that's just how you act if you're from Saginaw. He is picking an apple off the tree. That is a Saginaw tree that he fell from. And people are like, his attitude sucks, this sucks, or whatever. He's a great heel. Not too many heels left in the NBA game. They don't really let you be like that anymore. Patrick Beverley's a good heel. Draymond Green's a good heel. I'm sure there's a couple that I'm missing out on, but there's just not a whole lot out there. So I respect the game. I respect, that he's willing to put his minutes on the line and put his attitude on the line and his ego out there. And people go, it's super calculated. Da, 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 da. No, he's actually just crazy, but it helps his team out. And he's willing to go there. And what do you think? Kerr isn't able to play without him, or, when he's running that heavy point forward, I get it might be able to hurt, but Kerr's been playing with him for too long to let that affect him. Steve Kerr coaching his ass off. I can't wait for the next one. I really can't. Let's keep an eye on this series. It was nice of the Warriors. That was the veteranship that won this game. Ja, I wish you were playing a different team because you'd be up 1-0 right now, but the Warriors have been there before. They're looking to get back to their magic. I kind of want to see the Warriors, bring it back a little bit. And the league has advanced and evolved around them, and I want to see if the style of play that won them so many games in the later season, I want to see if that still holds up. I think that's a good narrative to watch there. So, moving on, not covering the Bucks and the Celtics too much. I knew the Bucks were good. I know they're the team to beat in the East. I'm really not worried about the East that much because I don't think they're going to be able to get past the Bucks. The only thing, like I said in episode 3, only thing I worry about is Giannis's knees and his health. But if he stays healthy, there's no beating the Bucks. Giannis is probably the number 1 best player in the league. I haven't bought a 2K game in a decade. I'm sure he's a 99. Forgive me if he's not, but he should be. A guy that can move that fast and be that lean, that long, they haven't found an answer for him yet. If he starts hitting shots, he might be, the best of this decade, but a couple more. I see rings in Giannis's future. I do. He's clean. His attitude isn't too bad. It's hard to be down to earth when you're 7 foot and a millionaire, but he's got it figured out. I like his brand. He is like a Frosted Flakes NBA player, classic NBA star. You know what I mean? Celtics might have ran out of fucking Cinderella dust. They play good. I'm pretty sure they were in Milwaukee yesterday. I could be. No, they were actually in Boston because I remember the clip of Brad Stevens walking out the door. But they stealing one at home like that, not super good to see. I'm sure, the Celtics are starting to worry a little bit that it's going to be hard. If they split, maybe a different story, but the Bucks run deep. Budenholzer is not stupid. He's up there with Kerr. He's up there with Rivers. I think, and how many of you watching Brad Stevens sit up there as the president of basketball operations? How many of you were like, wait, this motherfucker isn't coaching anymore? I knew he wasn't, and I was trying to grab at the information, I think, on an earlier episode too, because I still thought he was the coach. But what an awesome opportunity for him. It's not the prettiest decision, but it was easy. I'm sure it was easy to go, okay, do you not want to travel every night? Do you not want to deal with man baby millionaires trying to tell you how to do your job, even though you could coach a perfect game of people to shut up and fucking listen to you? I'm sure he was jumping at the bit to be that's a dream job, to be the president of basketball operations, but he didn't seem too happy. I like how he angry white guy left on that. Usually you're seeing like an owner or an ex-player, with their eyes kind of narrow. They try not to throw up their hands and they're like, all right, they whisper to their side piece, let's get the fuck out of here. And then they slowly make an exit and the camera catches them leaving. They're like, oh, early exit. Brad Stevens just straight up, why I yawed out of there. He just looked like an angry motherfucking soccer dad, whose kid wasn't getting enough playing time. So he's probably got some addendums for the coach. Come Sunday, come Monday. So we'll see if they adjust. Not writing them off yet. They're a great team. Tatum is up there. You think he'd shine a little more in the East? Kind of a down year for Tatum. Maybe we're just not focusing on him as much because the other stars are doing so well, but I'd like to see him turn it up a little bit. Giannis is just that good, making the Celtics look that bad. So just another testament. Tonight, breaking news right before I started filming this. Kyle Lowry's going to be out for the Heat game tonight. I want to know how much you guys think that will affect the game. I'm going to, kill some air here and try and get onto the sports book here and see how much the line was affected, because they had the Heat at minus 226 last night. I want to see how much value there is to Kyle Lowry not being in the game. It's up minus 345. And why do you guys think that is? For me, that's man. They got the over under at 208.5. I could see that going over 104. Come on, guys. We're in the playoffs. They're not that bad. I'm not sure on this one. I'm not. Actually, I am, because the 76ers are they tried doing their assignment right when they got in, and they walked into class, they saw on the whiteboard, homework 12.1A is due today. And they're like, motherfucker, I stayed up and played Nazi zombies all night, and I didn't even think to open my book. So they're trying to do it fast. We could even give them the benefit of the doubt, and they know how to do the assignment. They don't even need to copy. They know how to do the assignment. They write it all up on the piece of paper. They hand it in. They didn't get a chance to check their work. 76ers made a blockbuster trade at the end of the year. And when do these trades ever work, especially at the end of the year? Tried handing, the paper into the teacher. The teacher's like, that's great. You're good enough to hang with some of these teams. Might be able to win a couple games here, but you don't have that execution factor that makes NBA basketball when it comes to the playoffs, when you get to go rounds and rounds and rounds and ball up the court night after night, and be able to, for the team to know what you're running and still execute it well and run it right at them. 76ers haven't been playing long enough to do that. And their biggest centerpiece, Joel Embiid, is crooked and broken and hurting. No amount of candy on the sideline could fix this guy. No amount of Ben Gay could lube this guy's joints. He's going to be a problem. And I'll be curious to see how much his value drops from year to year if this dude is going to, he better not get on a jet ski. He better not get on a trampoline this offseason. He better just let his legs and arms dangle. He needs to hire, 4 goons to hold up each limb of his body while he goes place to place. Because he's in trouble. He's a professional athlete, and his fucking bones don't work, and his team is counting on him and waiting on him. And you got the Miami Heat minus 334 over you guys, and you got James Harden and Joel Embiid. I'm sick of these names. Kids are coming into the league good enough, and these names are not making it happen. Just saw Tyrese Maxey, 19-point-something points in the playoffs this postseason. 22 points or something like that in the postseason. James Harden, 19.1. What does that even mean? It means these guys are coming in, they're handing a gun to them loaded, ready. I need some work on my analogies here. So I'm still gonna watch it. Obviously, I won't do something. Maybe I'll edit the video and watch it tonight. I think we got the Mavs and the Suns. We're going to run into where old Charlie gets fucking sleepy-deepy again, trying to stay up and watch these games. But the Mavs and the Suns, that'll be a pretty competitive series. The point guard battle there with Luka and Paul, it's going to be the TV there. So maybe this, the Heat are just bad enough to not be able to put the Sixers away. It might be something worth watching if this series, stays close. I don't think anybody's going to get to bury anybody. We'll get to see if the 76ers, it's a UFC match, and dudes taking, 76ers are taking a bunch of leg kicks. They've checked, and now they're trying to put weight on it, and it's wobbly-dobbly, loosey-goosey, going side to side, frontwards and backwards. And if the Heat can see that, I'm going to, Charlie pick here. I'm going to say we'll be 3-2. Heat up by, 2 weeks' time. Not sure what the scheduling is, but I see a 3-2, and then I see a closeout. I see the 76ers only winning 2 games. But who knows? I could be eating my words. Harden could get hot. They could make a change and, have him be the predominant, offensive option, and, maybe he goes back to his old self and just starts laser. But something about the Rockets, James Harden, was able to make that happen in that system versus this new way that, they've been trying to make Harden play. I don't know basketball on that level. I'd love to hear from somebody what they think, the issue is with these guys. So, Mavs and Suns tonight. Luka's great to watch. It's the Luka show every time. Booker and Paul are going to be too much for him. Luka's going to be watching the whole time going, man, I need a number 2. He's going to be like, I can't wait till I get a buddy. So let's see where they're at tonight, and then we'll probably close out. I'm going to save, we got one of the best. It's been a while since a pay-per-view card. People are shitting on the card a little bit. I'll be doing, the picks and predictions, the review of that later this week. We talked about, we got PFL again this week. Kayla Harrison, still undefeated. When do you think somebody will take that from her? I think she's got forever. If she had a bad day, if somebody told her she was ugly or something right before she got in the ring, it might bother her or whatever. I don't see a Nunez happen. Man, Bellator coming in too, but Ryan Bader, scraps. That's all I gotta say. Bellator - scraps. UFC scraps. Yoel Romero actually, fights in 3 days' time. I saw somebody saying, man, Bellator is bad at promoting because they would have, thought about tuning in to this. They got a lot of people with the records they must be like, if you win 70% of your fights, you're going to be on the main card for a Bellator pay-per-view. So, Ryan Bader, Cheat Congo, I don't know Congo. That's got a 2 next to it. I couldn't even tell you who won the first one. I'm sure you guys would know more than me. Are you guys going to tune into Yoel Romero? I'd love to hear that from you too. But this weekend, 5 days time, we got Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Rose Namajunas, Carla Esparza, as your co-and main event, UFC 274. Well, I'll at least tell you what I'm excited for. I'm not going to give you the reviews on this or the picks. They're just not well researched, but a lot of my picks have to do with the favorites. I will say the screen that I'm looking at, and I'll just go down the line here for the visual, but the screen I'm looking at, there's just heavy favorites in the main card. Not a bad main card at all. Undercard looking stinky. Randy Brown, Chaos Williams, that'll be good. Tracy Cortez, is that Mr. Slim-Eyed's dude's side piece? Trying to think of her name. His name. What is his name? He got beat up by Holloway, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's keep on track here. I'm losing you guys. We're almost done here, folks. Thanks for listening so far. I appreciate you. We're at episode 7. Once we get around episode 50, we're gonna start heavily promoting this thing. I appreciate you getting in on the ground floor. You're not gonna regret it. It's gonna be a family. We're gonna have great merch. I appreciate you guys. My 20 years of radio experience. I'm not gonna let that lay to rest. We're gonna do something special here, whether podcasts are still going or not. We're on our way. So, Donald Cerrone, Joe Lozon. I hope that place goes fucking nuts for Donald Cerrone. And I know I will. There's a lot of guys on this card. I'm going to double fist 2 stand up and scare the women in the room and be like, you guys don't know what this fucking means for me. And really, really scare them and explain to them how important cage fighting is for my ego and my ability to come on my wife's back. So I'm obviously going to pick Mr. Cerrone. He's got to get a win. I hope he can. I hope he's been training like crazy and not building bars, in the middle of Arizona or New Mexico, wherever he's at. I think he's fighting, I was going to make a Breaking Bad joke, but I blew it. Ovince St. Preux versus Shogun Rua. Can I go and fight out there? We're just letting old guys fight now. I got Ovince, just bigger, just more durable. I feel like his body's held up a little bit better than Shogun's has. Last 3 fights of the night is going to be ass glued to the TV. And I'm not sure if this is a 3-rounder. I'm going to guess it is. Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson. This is actually the fight that I probably number 2. Number 2 just because there's a title fight on the line. But number 1, this is the one I want to see. I want to see Michael Chandler get his hand raised in the UFC, but got my, Michigan, partialness. Tony Ferguson, I love weird people. I love weird athletes more than anybody. You know, they make it's good seeing, millionaires and the best to ever do it be as weird as you. It lets you know that you don't have to stop being you. You can be you and still be great. Tony Ferguson is as weird as it gets. I wouldn't be surprised if he bit Michael Chandler's ear off a la Michael Tyson. Michael Tyson! But I hope he, it's going to be Chandler all the way. I could see Tony Ferguson getting upended a lot here. Grand Valley State, wrestling champion or not, he's going to be in trouble here. I would love to see Tony you saw Michael stand in there and take everything that Gaethje could. That's not easy. Chandler being at the other promotions and then coming in, he didn't need to prove himself. He's a physical specimen. He's one of the, best fighters in the world, but to stand in there and take the fucking cinder blocks that are Justin Gaethje's hands was just phenomenal. That's when you can stand in there and take it and people will give you the respect. You stand in there and trade, you're like, whoa, why you letting Chris Mutano, fucking piece up your face? Chandler, he's got a wink at Gaethje. Chandler's going to be sitting there, heavy victory. He'll have a towel around his head. He'll be in the ice bath watching the rest of the fights. I don't see how he loses this one, but man, oh man, would I love to see El Cucuy go out there and just weird it up. I don't know who I'm gonna pop for more, Donald Cerrone or Tony Ferguson, but I'm so happy to see Tony Ferguson on a card again. This is quickly becoming the nostalgia card. When I piece together some information for the card this week, that's probably what I will title it, because I mean, come on. Ovens, Shogun, Donald, Tony, come on, guys. Rose, Rose started so young. She's still a young lady, but she's been in the game forever. Carla, come on, guys. Excuse me. We are almost done. Shout out the Hog. If you guys are on, MMA Twitter, God bless the Hog. I think everybody's got a related, follow to him, brings the energy. Shout out, Steven Toast, Chaka Toast, best MMA dad and son. Go check out their podcast if you can. Hog, you need a podcast. If you can hold one up, I'd love to hear from you. But thanks for all the support out there. You guys are amazing. You guys make opening my phone one of the best parts of my day. If we're going to sit on our phones all day, we might as well have a good time. Keep going here. Light touching on Rose and Carla. I mean, you want to talk, I was making the bad day jokes about Kayla Harrison when she's actually a steel trap. You could look at Rose the wrong way, or she could put the wrong color nail polish on, and she could lose a fucking fight, Rose, she'd be the type of girl, you'd be like, you'd walk out, you'd be in middle school, you'd walk out, she'd be sitting on the pavement with her feet sticking out, and you'd be like, oh, did you miss the bus or something? Did your mom not pick you up? And she'd be like, no, I don't know. And you know what I mean? She's just a fucking weird lady. So I'm starting to bomb here. Ain't no way Rose is losing either. Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Oliveira with the heavy favorite. They underestimate the cowboy stupidity that is Justin Gaethje. He ain't from where I'm from, but I can smell it on him. I can see it. That dude needs camo shorts. Okay, he's an undercover hillbilly. He's from West Virginia. Those guys, they're a different kind of person. They just are. I'm from the sticks. I'm from the mud. You just grow up different. So I think that's a lot of disrespect. The plus 140. Oliveira's great. He can wrap anybody up, but the guy can't fucking see half the time. I don't think Gaethje can either with his goofy ass eyeballs. But Gaethje hits like a brick fucking Mack truck. And I think that, some guys can take that, some guys can't. Charles can throw out there with the best of them. He's just one of the most well-rounded fighters. Got a little bit of a chin on him. We'll see. I think Gaethje surprises some people. He might steal it back, and Gaethje's due for a belt. He deserves a belt. He threw that interim one on the ground. I think he gets the real one. That would be probably my biggest upset of the card. But I'm going to save it, like I said, for the, a little bit more in-depth review. So, guys, enjoy the NBA tonight. I'll probably be back at you tomorrow. I appreciate you listening this early in the week. Like, we're going to be cranking these out every day. They're going to get better. We're at around 40 minutes. If I had a buddy, we'd go farther and farther. But I appreciate you guys listening. If we're going to get funnier, we're going to get tighter, and we're going to get longer. That's what somebody said. Love you guys. Charlie out.